How's it going, guys? Dragon Star Production here, back with another video. And in this edition of Dragon Ball What Ifs, we will be doing a continuation of a pretty popular what if, that being What If Shallot Was Canon Part 3. And last time we left off with Shallot and Goku training in the gravity ship on the way to Namek, while Bulma, Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta all head to planet Namek. So yes, the Namek arc does change. Big time. And we'll get right into it after the video intro. On the way to Namek, Shallot and Goku are training very intensely the entire time. The two manage to keep it on 100 times gravity for majority of the way to Namek due to them pushing each other so much. As for the others, they arrived without training, but this also means that Vegeta would hate the fact that he was left on the ship with some scum while the full-blooded Saiyans were fighting until they couldn't anymore. Krillin and Gohan always attempted to calm Vegeta down by telling him it was alright, but nobody really understood but Vegeta. He knew all about the Zenkais. Vegeta was feeling left behind way earlier, and he hasn't even flipped to the good side yet. That being said anyway, Bulma manages to land her ship successfully while Goku and Shallot weren't even aware that they were landing, so crashed on the complete opposite side of Namek, splitting the two into two different groups. Shallot and Goku just laugh together at the incident, then carry on their way to find the Dragon Balls as the others did the same. However, I would like to state some power levels, since Goku and Shallot both have used the gravity ship. Goku's power increases due to having a really strong training partner in at 130,000, while Shallot takes a big jump as well to 120,000, but he has started to master the grade 1 of Super Saiyan. He doesn't have it fully under control yet, but Shallot knows that it won't be long. That being said, let's carry on. Shallot and Goku happen to land in the village that Vegeta wiped out in the Canon story. So after Shallot and Goku talk it over with the Namekians of the village, they actually manage to retrieve the first Dragon Ball. However, Bulma, Krillin, Gohan, and Vegeta land near Mori's village. This is where Dende and Cargo are introduced, and both would aid them on their search for the Dragon Balls as well. This eventually leads them to getting a Dragon Ball and actually getting to meet the Grand Elder Guru, including Vegeta. However, like in the canon story, Kui was sent by Frieza to follow Vegeta, and as they were going to Guru's, Vegeta is caught off guard by a familiar voice. He turns around to hear Kui yapping away, but Vegeta has none of it. Vegeta has been waiting to get his hands dirty for quite some time. Vegeta bolts towards Kui, gut punching him. Kui falls to his knees, stunned by Vegeta's power increase. However, Vegeta doesn't let him amaze in it for very long before throwing him into the sky for some good old dirty fireworks. Everyone is flabbergasted by Vegeta's actions, but Vegeta only smirks and insists they proceed in meeting this great elder. Now jumping back over to Shallot and Goku, they actually come across another ship. Shallot then notices a floating chair, and inside of it was none other than Frieza. Shallot then informs Goku of the situation, and of course Goku's first instinct is to fight him. But Shallot tells Goku that he doesn't think that they can win, even together. Goku after this sadly flies away from the Frieza force along with Shallot. They decide to take the ball to the others instead of fighting Frieza right away. But on the way, they happen to see a bunch of Frieza soldiers attacking a village. Shallot and Goku now seeing this, they know they had no choice but to come in and aid the fellow Namekians. The two Saiyans made quick work of the Frieza soldiers, all of them begging for help before their scouters were then shattered. Frieza then gets pissed at his soldiers not doing their job, so sends out Zarbon and Midoriya to find the Dragon Balls and to clean up any of the pest lying around. This would then lead Midoriya to go searching for a fight while Zarbon looks for the Dragon Balls. In Zarbon's luck, he actually managed to find a ball pretty quick after easily wiping through a village. However, the closest ball was actually Eldest Guru's, so Zarbon would head that way, landing at the same time as Vegeta Nail, Gohan, and Krillin. And when they meet Vegeta, he is very cocky, saying that he would love to kill another one of Frieza's henchmen. Zarbon, though, proclaims that he isn't here to fight, but to find the Dragon Balls. Krillin then speaks up, saying that he can't have the one inside, but Zarbon states that he had no clue there was even one in there, but insists on taking it. Zarbon then dashes in straight toward Guru's house, but he is caught by Nail. Nail catches Zarbon's hand and tosses him over his back, then wastes no time at all and makes quick work of Zarbon, not even giving him time to transform, but blasting him with his finishing move, the Nail Gun. This means that Zarbon wouldn't be an issue again, but also Vegeta or anyone else wouldn't be aware that Frieza can transform. While this is all happening, we also have Shallot and Goku helping the villagers when the pink brute Dodoria lands before them. Dodoria is shocked and believes that Shallot is Giblet. "Giblet, I have no idea that you were here, and you found another Saiyan. Have you found anything about the Dragon Balls?" Shallot says nothing but looks over at Goku. Shallot decides to play along with Dodoria and tells him that he hasn't found any and asks if he has. Dodoria replies with, besides the one that Frieza already has, no, not being aware that Zarbon has previously found one. Shallot then tells him and Goku that they can't stay. He's got to get back to the ship to grab their uniforms, so this is basically just an escape for Goku to bring the Dragon Ball back with the others without Dodoria finding out that this was Shallot and not Giblet, but also would give Shallot more information about Frieza and why he is here. Goku finds his way to Guru's, but it was right after everyone had their potentials released, even Vegeta, because Guru knew that of the danger of the planet, and because Vegeta didn't take out any village, he's not as big of a threat to the Namekians, so I feel like Guru would more than likely unlock his potential, seeing that he hasn't done any harm to his people. This being said, it would also put Gohan's power level at 20,000, Krillin at 19,000, but Vegeta would skyrocket to 240,000, being the strongest of everyone there. Goku, though, informs everyone of what has happened and what Shallot's plan is. However, Shallot still has to manage to get the Dragon Balls that Frieza has. Shallot, flying alongside Dodoria, comes back towards Frieza's ship, but Shallot knows damn well that Frieza will recognize that he isn't Giblet, so stops in his tracks. Shallot begins to talk to Dodoria about Frieza and his purpose of coming here. Dodoria explains he wants immortality and that this doesn't shock Shallot in the slightest. Instead, the exact opposite. However, Shallot then decides to take out Dodoria with one swift punch, not even giving him time to scream, beg for anything. Dodoria was dead. Shallot felt he had no choice. He knew that he couldn't risk exposing himself and all the others to Frieza, at least not yet. Frieza, though, back at the ship, is getting quite frustrated at the fact that nobody, not even his elites, have came back with another Dragon Ball. He attempts to call them on their scouters, but he can't find a connection. Frieza, though, still not wanting to get his hands dirty, decides that he'll call in the Ginyu Force for assistance because they're passing over the planet anyway. Shallot is on his way to the others now, but Shallot feels a sudden increase of everyone's power. He is amazed at what growth and how fast everyone has gotten strong. Shallot even rushes as soon as he knows that he wasn't going to be caught by any of Frieza's soldiers. Shallot lands next to Goku, and he has basically just finished explaining what Shallot's plan was. Shallot then addresses the power increases from everyone, especially Vegeta. Vegeta just turns his back to Shallot, but Krillin and Gohan begin talking about Guru and his power to unlock their potential. They then ask Nail if Guru could release Goku and Shallot's potential as well. Nail doesn't see why not, but this does give Vegeta the opening he needed to snatch the balls that they had and escape from everyone. Shallot and Goku both have their potentials released, and they are stunned by the increase, even though the full one hasn't even kicked in all the way. However, as soon as this happens, Shallot feels Vegeta darting off and doesn't hesitate in following him, while the others follow behind, but Vegeta ends up getting caught right in front of the Ginyu Force, who honestly in power doesn't compare to any of the Z Fighters, and not Vegeta. Not even Captain Ginyu, so the Force is kinda shook in their boots. However, Vegeta looks at them and tells them that he's going to enjoy this as he drops the ball, not paying attention to the fighters who have followed him. Vegeta dashes in at Guldo first. Vegeta then uses his hand to slice the head off of Guldo. Then he goes for Raccoon, who attempts to fight but fails like his partner Guldo. Vegeta then changes his attention to Jace and Birder. Birder, though, insists they do a combo attack like the Purple Hurricane, but this backfires, as the two launch into the air, where they were met by a Gallic gun to obliterate the two on contact. However, when Vegeta darts in at Captain Ginyu manages to gut punch himself at full power, then yells, "Change!" and takes Vegeta's body. Vegeta and Ginyu's body would be on the verge of death. As for Captain Ginyu, he would be about 68,000 for the time being, at least until he got used to Vegeta's body. Captain Ginyu flies down to the Dragon Balls, but is met by all the other fighters. Shallot tells him that, "You don't have a scouter, so you can't tell right now. But with one punch, I could kill you. So I advise you not to touch these." Ginyu stunned in Vegeta's boots, but then he gut punched and showed Shallot was exactly right. Ginyu fell to his knees gasping for air. Shallot then tells him to change back or he'll end him right now. Ginyu replies as he's switching back with Vegeta. However, Shallot nor anyone else helps Captain Ginyu or Vegeta. Shallot then states that they are ready and everyone heads towards the final Dragon Balls they needed, but also straight towards Frieza. Vegeta, though, manages to crawl over to a Ginyu Force ship and crawls inside the healing tank. But Captain Ginyu lays there until he eventually would pass away from bleeding to death. This now leads us to a big confrontation between Frieza and the others. Shallot stands before him at a power level at 1,200,000, and Goku stands beside him even stronger at 1,300,000. They all sense Frieza's power and have great hope that they can defeat him. Shallot and Goku look over at each other and stop what they are doing and play rock, paper, scissors on who gets to fight first. Shallot happens to win after beating Goku with paper. Frieza then proclaims that he doesn't care which monkey he fights, they'll both serve the same fate. Shallot doesn't take the threat too kindly and rushes in at Frieza by punching him right across the jaw, causing him to go crashing into the water of Namek. Frieza is extremely hurt by this, but flies up saying that he must have underestimated the monkey's power. However, they have also underestimated his. Frieza then starts to power up, but this time, skipping his second form, Frieza goes straight to his third, so that he could combat the Saiyan. He also points out that he hasn't used this much power in quite some time. Shallot, though, catches his wording and tells him to go full power. But Frieza tells him he better handle this form first as he darts in, returning the punch to the jaw to Shallot. Shallot and third form Frieza are knocking craters all over the planet Namek. Shallot was losing ground and he was losing it pretty fast. Shallot was taking a beating for sure, but he wasn't backing down. Shallot was giving his all until his aura flashed with each punch and kick. Shallot started building more strength. Shallot was ascending into the evolution of a Saiyan. Shallot then kicks Frieza back as he screams out, unleashing an immense amount of energy. It was radiating off of him. Shallot was the Super Saiyan that Frieza feared so much. This was also the opportunity, though, that Krillin and Gohan and Cargo needed as they ran onto the ship, easily taking out the soldiers that got in the way. When they find the balls, Cargo then explains to them how the wish on the Dragon Balls work and that he could do it for them. They then proceed to make the wishes that they came for. The first wish is for Piccolo to be revived, then for Beats, but before they could wish back Chaozu back to life, Porunga would disappear as the balls turned to stone. Elder Guru has officially passed, but this also alerts Frieza, who goes berserk after realizing that he wasn't going to get his wish of immortality. Frieza then powers up into his final form, straight to his full power. But little does he know, him and Shallot were both at 120 million. So this fight went straight down the middle. Shallot, actually due to his experience, builds the upper hand, which causes Frieza to use his last resort to try to blow up the planet. Shallot screams at everyone, telling them to escape the planet before it blows up, but Nell proclaims that he can't leave his people here to die. Goku, though, tells Nell that he has no choice, and it's the only way that he can save his people. Nell, although reluctant, goes with the Z-Fighters plus Dende and Cargo back to Bulma, who already had the ship ready after feeling the ground about to explode. However, a stray blast from the fight would come flying, and as it hits the last person getting on the spaceship, this happens to be little Cargo, who was hit before he could even get on the ship. now powers up and begins to take off out of pure rage. But Goku just tackles him before he could. Nail then gets very mad at Goku, which gives the ship ride some pretty high tensions back to Earth. However, back to the fight between Shallot and Frieza, the two tyrants, well, Shallot's not a tyrant, but the two were clashing. Frieza was giving everything he had at full power, and this began to backfire on him. Frieza reduces out of his 100% form, and he was drained, but Shallot was just getting started. Shallot kicks Frieza right across the face, knocking him onto the destroyed planet. Frieza then laughs, "Oh monkey, have you not realized this planet only has 3 minutes before exploding into a big crater, and I'm pretty sure you can't survive in space." However, Shallot doesn't look the slightest bit concerned. Instead, he stares at Frieza and states, "Frieza, you've been the root of all the universe's downfall. You've ripped us and so many others of who we are. You've taken fathers and mothers from children. You've taken homes and families from innocents. You've taken so many innocent lives. And I don't care about the consequences, Frieza. All I care about is ending you once and for all." Frieza mentions how he sounds like another Saiyan. He was so excited to blow up with Planet Vegeta. Shallot, though, knows that he's talking of the Saiyan Bardock, and this causes Shallot to completely lose it. Shallot darts in at Frieza as he grabs Frieza by the face and slams him into what was left of Namek. Shallot then stares down at Frieza's helpless body. However, Shallot doesn't spare Frieza in this cannon. Instead, Shallot builds up the largest wild cannon to ever be made by him. Shallot pulls his hand back beside him as the energy wave grows larger and larger in his hands until flashing right beside Frieza to release the blast. The wild cannon made direct contact. Frieza couldn't escape his fate as he dissolved into the rest of the ash that floated on the planet. However, Shallot knew that he only had seconds before the planet would blow up, and like Goku, he manages to find the Ginyu Force ship and escapes by pushing literally all the buttons that he possibly could. Shallot then passes out in the pilot chair as Namek blows up behind him, but he is woken up when he hears Vegeta's voice behind him. "So, the legendary Super Saiyan defeated Frieza." Alright guys, that is the What If. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, because this has been a really fun one to write. I love writing the Shallot canon story. I think it's probably my favorite What If out of every single one on my channel. So if you guys like this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell notification, because if this video can get 100 likes, I will be coming out with part 4, let's say in maybe a week, 2 weeks, if depending on how fast you guys can get this to 100 likes. That being said, don't forget to follow us on Twitter so that you can get more alerts, updates, thumbnails, stuff like that, and join the Discord for game nights and other fun stuff like that, possibly even getting in a rapid fire What If. That being said, guys, I'm going to dip out. I hope you guys have a good one. Dragon Star Productions is out.